Hey guys, this is Anthony with Training with AJ, and today I have my good friend Eric with me.
Hello.
And I'm gonna take him and introduce him to a new, well, I'd say a new type of food that he's probably never tried. So we're gonna go have some pho noodle soup, Vietnamese noodle soup, on a cold day with temperature outside is 7 degrees. And we're gonna also do an interview. So this is kind of a new series. And I'm gonna grab some, students that have gone through either armed citizen training or training with AJ, and just kind of get their perspective on the gun world, self-defense, and just how they got into it and things like that. So follow along and join us. Cafe. And hope it doesn't look like it's open. Damn it. Okay, so Eric just went in inside to make sure that they're open, and they are. So we're gonna go have some pho. So we're finally arrived at Saigon Cafe here in Kenosha. It's right off of 80th Street, and it's a fairly decent place. Not the best pho I've had, but it's the best pho I've had in this area. Alright guys, so we're here inside the restaurant, and we just got our spring rolls delivered, so let me show you what that looks like. Yummy yummy, with some really nice peanut sauce, and this is going to be Eric's first time trying this Vietnamese food. So Eric, what do you think so far?
So far it smells really good and looks good. We'll see.
So let's try it out, okay? So what you want to do is, you're going to get one roll, I'll get the other roll, and then typically you can just, I don't care, you can just dip in the sauce. And I know some people have issue with double dipping, but Asians, we don't really care. Alright? So just make sure, at least I hope I know where your mouth's been.
No, you don't.
Alright, well enjoy. Alright, try it out, man. So what you want to do is go grab one of the rolls.
Of course, I just want to go.
Okay. And then what you want to do is, you can do a couple different ways. You can just dip it. When I'm with my family, we just dip ours.
Yeah.
Or you can, if you don't like double dipping, then what you can do is take your spoon, mix it up a little bit, and then just grab a little bit from your spoon, pour it onto your spring roll, and then take a bite.
And then roast these peanuts here themselves.
This is really good. What do you think?
That's amazing.
Good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's fresh. So you have the rice noodles in here, and what else is in here? Lettuce, shrimp, and
some kind of
celery.
What's that?
What's that?
What is that?
Peanut sauce.
That is?
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's good.
No, it's part of the wrapper.
Mm.
Just being wrapped over itself, All right, so Eric, what do you think? What do you think of the spring rolls so far?
Excellent.
Good?
Very good.
What would you compare it to? Somebody that's never tried, Vietnamese spring rolls before.
It's actually like a really fresh salad. Refreshing.
Yeah, kind of like a egg roll salad,
really,
right?
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be a little weird being cold, but
how you like the
really
peanut
good.
sauce?
Good.
Really good, right?
Yeah, very tasty.
Now, you like spicy food or not?
I do.
Okay, because when our pho gets here, we're gonna have to throw some sriracha sauce in there. You gotta have sriracha sauce.
I'm in.
So, sriracha tastes good on anything and everything. So, Eric, tell the viewers about yourself.
I am a 42-year-old single parent. I've got 2 teenage kids, 1 boy, 1 girl. One's going to be driving here in the next couple of weeks. A little scary for all of us on the road. I'm in sales. I cover a pretty wide territory for a massive global company based out of North Carolina. So I get around quite a bit. I deal with a lot of people and a lot of different style of people, which is a lot of fun.
Okay. Do you ever get into areas that may be kind of, shall we say, questionable? in your travels?
I won't mention any proper names, but I do get down to Chicago Ford plant all the time, down on the south side of the city. I deal with a lot of large manufacturing facilities, and they seem to be in most of the times not the best neighborhoods. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. All right. And so how would you classify your shooting ability? Would you say you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced, and why?
I'd say kind of in between a beginner and an intermediate. I do quite a bit of shooting at a range. I've been through several classes with you, and I do a lot of training at home as well. I do a lot of practice drawing, speed reloading, tack reloading, a lot of the skills that I've learned through classes with you. However, I don't do it enough to classify myself as an intermediate or advanced in that level. I do, as you know, a lot of training and classes with you. In every class I learn something new. There's always a new step or a new procedure or a new something. So even though I do quite a bit, I average probably about between 1,000 and 1,500 rounds a month at a local range or down at your range. Well, it's usually 1,000 rounds every time we're together, but yeah, right. But either way, so but I always constantly learning, constantly looking for new information, new ways to do things. So.
Okay. All right. And what type of gun do you normally carry?
I carry a 380 Bodyguard, just because it's small, it's compact. It's very easy for me to leave, to put in my car, and also then to carry it on me. And then I also have a compact Springfield XD that for this time of year when it's cold like this I can carry it a little easier. Summertime it's a little bulky and hard to carry.
Sure, that makes sense. And aren't you getting your Springfield work done right now?
I am actually, yeah. Chris over at First Class Firearms is doing some stippling for me on it to make it a little easier for draw. The last class we did, it was very cold out and we were shooting steel just kind of for fun, but we were doing some speed testing. And I was fumbling the gun a little bit on it, just with gloves, even with rubber grips on the gloves, it was still tough to handle. So Chris and you and I, we sat afterwards and talked about it and came up with this as a great plan for us to do it.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to see the job that Chris did on your gun, because if he screws it up, he ain't touching my gun.
Right, thanks for letting me be the scapegoat there.
Yeah. All right, and so I'm guessing you're a concealed carry permit holder?
Absolutely.
Okay, and how did you go about getting your concealed carry permit?
Actually, when it finally came through in Wisconsin, there was a lot of back and forth between our state for many years in order whether we're going to do it or not. The governor that we've got now, through a whole political entourage and dealings, basically made it legal for us, and to support him and also myself with my travels, my family, and things of that nature. As times are getting odder and tougher, we're seeing more and more riots. We're seeing a lot of things that are really starting to not necessarily scare me, but make me more aware and more alert of what's going on in our area. So therefore, I went to Gander Mountain, and actually that's how I came across you. And the guys there, they had 2 or 3 courses to choose from at the time, and I had a guy behind the counter who said, this is the only guy to go to. So that's pretty much how we got together.
Nice.
So.
And do you remember which Gander Mountain that was at?
It was, actually I was at the Greenfield one, I believe. So
I think it was, well, Greenfield's close by.
Yeah.
Franklin, right?
It was Franklin. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah,
Franklin,
it was
Wisconsin.
Franklin.
All right, and that's a small store.
It is a small store.
Very small store.
Yeah.
Remember, the classrooms were really small.
Very tiny.
And,
yeah.
well, and when you have like 20 people in there in that little small space, it feels claustrophobic.
Yeah, it was.
So,
but as always with your training, I'll give you some kudos. And the whole reason to actually continue was that night. It was a very snowy, very cold, and actually the roads were really bad to get to it. And we got there, and right off the bat, you were energetic and really helped keep me focused, which, as you know, through training is not always the easiest. So it was a great class. I learned so much information out of it. So.
Oh, great. And so now that you get your concealed carry permit and you got your guns that you like to carry, how often do you carry?
Well, in the car daily. On my person, probably 4 or 5 times a week, depending. You know, short runs I've always got it with me, just because that's always the time that you're not aware,
right,
as to your surroundings and what's going on. In a lot of places in Wisconsin, you know, they've got the no carry signs up on them. A lot of the hobby stores, antique stores, things like that. So, you know, but it's always pretty much on me or in my car.
Okay. Do you, what else do you carry with you for your everyday carry? Your gun, anything else?
No, that's pretty much about it.
Okay, so I'm going to have to school you on having a pocket knife, right?
Pocket knife, yeah.
For EDC.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's great for opening up letters, and it's great for opening up packages.
Yeah.
You guys can check those, my knife reviews out on my channel as well. I'll post a link. All right, so the pho has finally arrived, and Eric is looking at it like, wow. I mean, because the bowl of soup is pretty awesome. Throwing some sriracha, got his jalapeno in there, and threw a little bit of lime juice in there. And you gotta, yeah, stir it up, mix it all up, and then I want to see what you think of your first bite.
I don't think you want to do that on film.
Let's see. All right, what do you think?
It's great flavor.
All right, so now you gotta take the spoon and you know, slurp up some juice.
Yeah.
Yeah, his chopstick skills on a scale of 1 to 5, I give him a -1.
A 2.
What do you think, man?
Very good. Looked very bland, but has a lot of good flavor too.
Right, a lot of different flavors mixed up in the bowl.
Very good.
Now on mine, I like bean sprouts, so I asked for extra bean sprouts for mine. And how do you like the noodles?
Very tasty. Messy, but good.
Oh, it's only messy because you don't know how to use chopsticks.
There is that.
What are you looking for?
Spoon. Got
Oh,
it.
there you go.
It's good.
What do you think of the broth?
Very good.
Nice, right?
Oh.
Is it perfect for a cold day that's like 7 degrees outside?
We need this at the range.
I know. I'll buy the instant stuff and just add hot water. All right, well, enjoy your food. So, why did you decide to get a carry permit? I mean, were you afraid of somebody attacking you, or just exercising your Second Amendment right? What's your reason?
Mostly my Second Amendment right. It's always something I've wanted to do, and quite honestly, for years and years, depending upon my travels and where I was going, I would possibly maybe have something in the car with me at the time. So at this point, I wanted to be legal, and also not have to worry about anything of that nature. A lot of times it was locked up in my trunk and with me, but still there's always that the follow-through portion of it. So with the Second Amendments being out, and again, our governor who was working so hard to change our rights, I really wanted to support him. And yeah, I mean, again, like I commented on earlier, with the riots going on and with things seem to be crashing more and more around us these days, you know, multiple shootings in schools and churches, and I mean, right by us, probably about a month and a half after it happened, we had a shooting at a salon up by us. And my kids at the time were very young and didn't understand why I wanted to carry. And that day was kind of the deciding factor for me that, you know, okay, I'm not crazy. My 12-year-old daughter at the time looked at me and said, "Dad, are you carrying?" Because we were within half of a mile of where this went down. And I looked at her and I said, "Yeah, absolutely." She's like, "Okay, good, thank you." From that point forward, that was kind of my deciding factor that, yeah, you know what, this is something I do need to do for myself and my family.
Okay. So tell the viewers, how many classes have you taken with me or with our company?
I was trying to count that out the other day, and I've got 5 certificates from you, but I know I've done a couple of them a few times just because of the camaraderie. And, yeah, I mean, how many times did we do the home defense shotgun course? And I had to do it again today. It was a great course. The AR-15 courses, we've done a couple of those. The defensive handgun. Well, I'm an NRA basic pistol instructor. I've done so many courses. I don't even know really more than a handful. I can tell you that much. Good. And look forward to as many as we can do.
Now, have you taken any other courses outside of the training that you've received from me or our company?
No, I haven't. And as you know, I've always pushed ACT and training with AJ, and I've always just really pushed your courses is what you do. I've had a couple of buddies of mine that have done the Groupon version, just for dollar-wise on it, and comparing their notes with my notes are two completely different.
Right. Didn't one of our friends get in some trouble because
he did? Yeah, he pulled a weapon.
We won't say his name,
right?
To save the innocent from embarrassment.
Correct. Yeah, and he made a wrong choice at a stoplight after a road rage incident, and got out of it, but not after a very long heated.
Well, based on his perception, he was right. But based on his perception of the event, he thought what he was doing was correct.
Correct, because he was misinformed.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Yeah, and I remember, assisting him with that, and I'm glad that I'm glad the incident came out in his favor. Of course. So. All right, and so what are some things that you learned that you can do really, really well during these courses?
I've learned slow is smooth, smooth is fast, and I mean that's one of the things that you've always instilled into us, and you're exactly right, because the smoother we are with it, the better we are, the more accurate we are. We're not just throwing lead down range, we're hitting our targets, we're concentrating on it. I mean, it's an expensive hobby, sport, lifestyle to live, as you know. And to just go out and shoot at stuff, well, I might as well just take $20, $30 and throw it away every time.
Right.
I'd like to be able to use it for my advantage and for needs that we've got. As anything, you want to master your skill as best you can. So the more training, the more time, the more range, the more everything, the better we are with it.
Okay. Now, on the flip side of that, is there anything that you've learned that you need to work on more through these courses?
Constantly, yeah. I need to work on my breathing. I know that with you and I, it's always kind of a competition time-wise, accuracy-wise, and sometimes I win, most of the time you win. But in my head, I'm always constantly thinking faster, more accurate. It doesn't work that way. So I need to work on settling myself down, my actions down, my body movements down, concentrating on that end result, which is the target.
Right. Yeah. I mean that. Every class that we conduct, I bring my timer out, right? And just when everybody sees that timer, everybody starts freaking out.
That's right.
Either internally inside they're thinking, "Oh my God, I got to beat this time" or whatever.
Correct.
And have you found that being technically proficient, or as you become more technically proficient in your techniques, that you actually end up becoming faster?
That's correct. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So it's not just being fast; it's also doing it correctly.
That's right.
And by doing it correctly, you're actually gaining the speed at the same time.
Well, and I remember when we first started training too, hitting the target was great. Well, now you got to hit the target within this area. Now you got to hit the target, and each and every time it gets smaller and smaller, and the plates get smaller, which means our skill level is going up as well, which is what we're driving for. I mean, we don't want to hit bullet hole after bullet hole. We want to have a smaller pattern, but ideally, that's what we're looking for, is that end result is a nice, tight, accurate shot.
What did you think of shooting steel?
It was great. That was one of the best times I think I've had, and it was muddy, it was cold, it was a miserable day outside, and I think it's one of the best times I've had.
Is it better than shooting paper?
Oh, absolutely.
Why is that? Why do you like shooting steel vice paper?
Well, you get... The sounds are better. As goofy as that sounds, I mean, you've got earmuffs on, and you're protecting your hearing. But to get that response at the end of it was great. To watch the fragments spray off of it, and just the whole interaction of it. I mean,
because you get instant feedback. You know if you hit or if you miss, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
All right. So we kind of discussed this a little bit. The world is an ever-changing environment. It's constantly changing, constantly evolving. Now, with all the current events that's going on that you see in the news and you hear on the radio, how have you prepared yourself to meet these new challenges?
Basically what we've been talking about. I mean, the more training, the more practicing, the more, as goofy as it sounds, even just preparing at home, taking the time out every day to, when you put your holster on, when you put your gun in, and when you go out before the day. I take time, I practice. It's conditioning your mind, it's developing your skills, so that in a time of crisis, I've been shot at. I actually have a pending court case.
Right. How's that going, by the way?
That's another whole story, but it was completely night and day difference. And the funny part of it, not that any of it was funny, but the funny part of it was everybody around me was panicked. I was the only one, including the police, that was in the right frame of mind. And that comes from training, that comes from practicing, that comes from everything we've learned through ACT, through training with AJ. And as goofy as it sounds, as a plug for you, it truly is that. It's conditioning your mind for, hopefully it never happens, but if it does, I was able to give a proper description of the person that shot at us. I was the only one that could, out of the entire neighborhood that was outside. I was the only one that matched it completely. I was not panicked. I was not yelling, screaming. I was defending myself. I was defending my family around me, and I mean, it's training at its finest, right there. It's all conditioning your mind.
So you know that based on your experience, that the consistent practice and the consistent training your mind, right?
Correct, yeah.
So I mean, this stuff works.
Absolutely.
So it's not just, you're not just going and spending money to just spend money on a training class. I mean, you're doing it for a specific reason, to gain some knowledge and some skills that's going to that you're able to take with you down the road at some point in your life, possibly, right?
And a lot of my friends that are not into guns, well, some I've brought with me, and they've gotten into them as well, but there are that handful, including my mother, that thinks we're just a hillbillies running around out in the field shooting and stuff. Which,
well, we are.
To a point, yeah, she's got something there. But quite honestly, when it came down to it, the skill set my follow-throughs, everything that we've learned and trained, absolutely.
All right, good. Now, last question. What advice would you give someone watching this video right now regarding personal safety and personal responsibility? What advice could you give them?
Biggest thing you can learn is know your surroundings. Know what's on you. Stop staring at your phone. Stop walking and texting. Stop just doing your everyday with your blinders on, walking down the road. You need to be prepared for what's around you. You need to watch where you sit in restaurants. You need to watch where you sit in movie theaters. I mean, all of these places that make the news, every day there's something new, and we need to be prepared for it. And practice, know what's around you, and take pride in what you've got and your family and yourself. Nice.
All right, Eric, thank you so much for taking time out of your day, having lunch with me here at Saigon Cafe in Kenosha. So would you recommend pho to people that have never tried it? I mean, this is your first time ever having pho, right?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was just a whole plethora of flavors and food, and a little messy, but
well, just because you eat like a 2-year-old with chopsticks. We'll work on that at the next training class.
The next training, right on.
All right, well, thanks, Eric. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, stay safe, and I appreciate you passing the word about ACT and training with AJ.
Yep, absolutely.
All right,
highly recommend it.
Hey guys, so that was our interview. This is the first one in the series. We went out and got some great food, spent some time with some good friends, and got an idea of, at least from their perspective, of why he chose to carry a gun and continues to practice. So again, this is Anthony with Train with AJ. Stay safe, and remember, your personal defense is your responsibility.